Hello, 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 and welcome to Jews with the News. I'm Eli, and
I'm Jack.
we have a great episode today.
Fantastic episode.
Fantastic.
I feel like at the beginning of the episodes, I feel like sometimes we forget to say our names.
I
We,
feel
we
like
need
we
to
need
start.
to.
We need to start remembering to do that more often.
Right, I'm Jack, I'm Eli, and that just has to be
Wait.
instinctual.
You're both.
I am both.
I'm just here.
Yeah, he's just a shell, really. But no, it's been a good couple of weeks for the JWTN fam.
Has it?
It's been an interesting few weeks. What's been going on in your life, right?
No. So we missed one, and then we took a break because I had finals, and then we got the last week, and then we promised a guest. Spoiler alert, didn't get a guest.
Did not get a guess, no.
Yeah, that's Eli's fault. So
Is this our series finale? Is this our season finale, by the way? This will be episode 13.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll
I
see,
don't think so.
Okay.
I think we'll probably go until I probably go back to school.
Sounds good.
But maybe we won't have a break.
Yeah, you can tell the amount of thought we've put into this.
We're gonna have a break.
Yeah.
No, but what was it? Monday? On Tuesday. On Tuesday, I got my wisdom teeth removed. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Great experience. Still enjoying it to this day.
Do you feel wise anymore?
I feel so stupid. Like I don't know anything anymore.
I mean, yeah, that was the only thing keeping you in college was your wisdom.
I know.
Teeth.
I felt like I was obliged to write an email to Illinois saying just so you know, I lost my wisdom. So if my GPA just tanks, you know why.
Yeah. Well, now all the tests will have a handicap. They'll be okay, Jack gets a -5 handicap or something like that.
Dude, I wish. That would be nice.
But yeah. Did you need a lot of pain meds? Did you eat a lot of ice cream stuff?
Actually, I just I did the ice, the wraparound thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was pretty funny. I looked like an absolute baller.
Okay.
No, but I didn't feel the need to take any pen meds. I just wanted to stay away from that. If I didn't feel like I was absolutely dying, and I wasn't, so I toughened through it. I fought through it.
Good for you.
Thank you. And
and we're here where we are.
Yeah. I don't recommend though. Obviously, you have to do it because sometimes you just need to do it because it's good for your oral health. But it sucks.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Sounds painful. But it doesn't sound painful. Nailed that segue.
No, you didn't.
It doesn't sound painful. KFC announced
KFC does sound painful. It sounds like I'm gonna be in the bathroom for a while, actually.
KFC does sound painful, but what doesn't sound painful is what they're announced, right? The KFC released a game console in partner with PlayStation, right? Tell
Yes, you heard that right. It's an actual. I don't know if it's in partnership with PlayStation.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. It might be, but
okay.
I don't think it is. But yes, it's an actual gaming console, like the chain restaurant. So how it works is it's a bucket shaped console. So it's shaped like a bucket, and there's a compartment in the middle that you could put chicken in there. And when you're using the console's obviously going to get more and more warm, and it will keep your chicken warm with that natural heat from the console.
I mean, that's just a genius invention right there, a video game system that also keeps chicken warm.
But just food warm, because you can't control that it's just KFC chicken being put in there.
Yeah, but it should be, because it's a bucket. And what else goes in a bucket if not chicken?
You could put anything in a bucket. Popcorn.
Popcorn would be a good one. Although do you need to keep I guess, yeah.
You could put anything in a bucket though.
Yeah, but some things are meant to be put in a bucket. KFC.
Okay, that's not the point that I'm trying to make. Is that this console can warm up all of your food while you're playing.
It's crazy.
The efficiency.
I know.
The efficiency.
think about like all the gamers now that are just gonna be like digging into their like bucket while they play their video games and whatnot.
So right now, I believe the console works with virtual reality games,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool. That's
Very
pretty
cool.
cool. And also, it doesn't appear to have like a disc slot. So I think you have to like download games.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do
Yes,
that.
but like
I mean,
that's
like
the
that's
price
how
worth
most people
paying
play
for
that's how
heating up
most people play their
chicken.
game.
Yeah.
That's how most people play their games anyway. Now is like they just download it. They don't actually have the physical disc.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, for KFC, I'm interested to see if it works out for them like business wise. I don't know what's happening with my lights right now, but like from a business standpoint, I hope it works out for them and it creates a new revenue stream. That's just so I think that's so
It's so crazy.
it's so out of the bucket.
Mhm. What, were you trying to do a little pun there?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Okay. Okay.
Eh,
I see you.
average. I could do better.
Um, but yeah.
I'm
So
excited to see how it turns out. I
I
hope
am
it does
too.
well. I think it's a really interesting idea.
Would you buy one?
No, I don't find
No,
myself gaming that much, so probably not.
that's fair.
But
Yeah.
if I did game, I would buy one 100%. Imagine. Also, I might just want to like. Yeah, no, I don't game. Just kidding.
I don't game either, but if I did
Yeah,
game,
I
that
would get it for sure.
were just top of
Screw
my
the
hot
PS5.
list.
People also the thing that like I think people need to realize is that it's coming out at a good time because people still can't get the PS5 or the
Yeah.
Xbox Series X.
Yeah. And also,
This
why
is a
would you want a
good this
PlayStation 5 when you like does a PlayStation 5 heat up your food? Like no.
okay, but please I don't PlayStation 5 probably has better graphics. It's more known for gaming.
Okay, but can it heat up your food? Like that is the
Well,
real
I'm
serious
assuming if you
thing.
put chicken on top of it, it could heat it up,
That's true. That is true.
but it's not meant to do that.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's coming out at a good time. So, if you're out there and can't get it a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, get the KF. They're calling it the KFC console, not the
Yeah,
KFC console, the KF console.
the KF console,
Yeah, because it's
genius marketing.
KFC console,
Yeah, exactly. I
which
think it's
means
genius.
Kentucky Fried Console.
Yeah, it's genius marketing right there. But yeah, uh, we're gonna move on to something a little more, maybe not fun, but we're gonna talk about something a little more news related, which are the pardons that are going on.
Hmm,
Um,
true.
so this is kind of typical, like every year or at the end of most presidents' terms, like before they leave office, they'll just do a bunch of pardons, right? Like it's nobody's business. Like they're making it rain pardons, right? And it's like
Like
you get a
it's like their holiday. It's like their Christmas gift.
yeah, they're like Oprah.
It's
They're
like the
like you get a
president. The
pardon, you get
president
a pardon.
it's like the president waited to the last second to go to Target and everything else is gone and he's like, screw it, what can I get them that will be nice, easy, and thoughtful? Pardons. And then just gives
Exactly.
everybody pardons.
Exactly. With this president though, as I mean, I feel like has been a theme throughout the past 4 years.
He's doing it different.
Doing
He's
a little
doing it
differently.
different.
So he pardoned Roger Stone, who else? I think Rupert Murdoch, right? Some very influential Fox
Some
News,
bad people.
yeah, some bad people. And whereas most presidents use it to pardon, like say, small-time drug offenders that were given like harsh sentencing, or like people who were convicted with not enough evidence to like be pronounced guilty in a normal trial setting. And so yeah, it's like we said, it's kind of the theme of this president to just go all out super villain.
Right. He's pardoning people who work for him. I think that's the thing that stands out about what he's doing is that all these people that he's pardoning him are people close to him, and people who work for him. And when you get pardoned, obviously, like some people have been convicted for sentences or for crimes they didn't commit, for small drug offenses, stuff like that. But when you haven't been convicted yet and you're being pardoned, you're guilty.
Yeah, exactly.
So it comes to decide is why is this system in place? And that's kind of what we wanted to talk about, is because clearly what this president is doing right now is corrupt, and he's corrupting the system that pardons are supposed to have. And that's not cool, dude.
It's yeah, and
To
when you
put it
think
simply.
when you think about it, like in a utopian world, right? Like, would you even need pardons, right? Like shouldn't the
Because the
criminal
criminal
just
justice system would be fair.
right? It would be fair,
You
right?
wouldn't need pardons.
It wouldn't be punitive, right? It'd be like rehabilitative, right? And so everyone would get a fair shot, right? And no one would need a pardon, right? And so
That's in an ideal world. So what the pardons have put in place is kind of this checks and balance, that the executive branch holds over, the the judicial,
yeah,
in a sense where it can reverse wrongful convictions.
yeah.
Uh, but
It
you
also
know,
has the power to, like any power, there can be lots of corruption. And so, yeah, in this particular instance, when you have a evil villain in the White House, it's been, this,
for example, I'm going to use this as an
yeah,
example. Back in the 70s when Nixon was about, and the whole Watergate thing happened.
mhm,
When he resigned, the person who took over, Jared Ford, like pardoned him.
yeah,
And it comes to question is like, we know he did illegal stuff. That's not refutable. And he's being let off the hook
yeah,
because
exactly.
of this one power. It's a fine line because it can do good, but it can be corrupt. And it's
Mhm.
unfair that people who exploit the unfair judicial system already get to exploit the pardon system, which is supposed to counteract that unfair judicial system. So
Yeah, it's
it's just a circle of unfairness.
it's also right, like there are lots of things that like in the right hands can be good and in the wrong hands can be like, bad. But like this seems like kind of an oversight because, the people that I feel like would most easily corrupt these like huge powers are going to be people that are, presidents of the United States, right? Like these are some of the most power hungry people in the world, right? Whether or not they're trying to do good, anyone who wants to be president, right, has to have some of that like, you know, selfish, right, like narcissistic power
Mm-hmm.
obsession. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's not, I feel like, when these are the people you're giving powers to, you shouldn't really be shocked when many of them choose to corrupt these powers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do do you think that there is a way to rewrite this sort of power to where it can't be used in this corrupt way, or is it just impossible?
I mean, like, it's just very difficult. Like, you can try to like create guidelines, right? Like, oh, like you have to give a reason for why you're pardoning, and it has to be like, lack of evidence or whatever, right? But like, there's so many loopholes, right? Because like
Right.
right, like the president will like could say like, oh well, I'm choosing to like pardon, right, like Roger Ailes for like insufficient evidence, right? And even though a jury said there was sufficient evidence, right, like that's kind of the point of a pardon, is to say like, well, what the jury found was wrong. And so, they're just like these kind of loopholes that would be in place with any, suggestion like that, where you'd have to
Right.
provide a reason.
So yeah, I agree. I definitely the only way that this whole system of where it's like who should be pardoned, who shouldn't be pardoned can like be agreed upon is just if the judicial system worked better.
Exactly.
But that at this point, like that's also not happening,
Right, like
which is
I
a
mean,
whole nother issue.
exactly, right? Like Trump appointed more judges than any president in a 4-year span. And so it's
Right.
just, you know,
Which is also a little segue here, but like so when Obama was president, McConnell was stopping like every appointment of judges, like everyone. because
Mm-hmm.
it used to be where you needed 60 votes from the Senate
Mm-hmm.
to appoint a judge, and McConnell just blocked everything. So the Democrats then changed it to just needing a simple majority, 51 or 50 with the vice president.
Right.
They changed it to do that. And hold on, I lost my train of thought. Got it back. So they changed it to do that. And now that Trump's been in office, Trump has been able to appoint so many judges, and Republicans are like, well, the Democrats let us do that.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in a sense, by definition, the Democrats did let them do that because they changed the rules to where it should be 51. But they changed the rules so they could put in judges because you were blocking them from doing so with the
Right.
original rules. So
Exactly.
everything in politics is corrupt and
Yeah.
is for power, and it's stupid and dumb and stupid.
Guys, just don't vote.
Did I get good adjectives
You
in
did
there?
get good adjectives. I mean, your adjectives are always, you always got good adjectives.
Thank you. I got the best adjective.
But yeah, and which is why, like, kind of segueing into another area, right? Like that's why, like, these two Senate runoff races in Georgia that, you know, are going to happen in a few weeks are so important for the next 4 years, or you know, at least for the next 2 years, right? Because now that everything just takes a majority to, like, either say yes or no to, right? If Republicans have control of, right, like, even just the Senate, right, like there goes your hopes of getting any legislation done, right? Because they're just going to block everything, right? You need a majority in everything, which, you know, says a lot about the state of politics, where, like, you need to have everything in control in order to make progress. But, you know, also is why, if you live in Georgia and you don't, you know, like racism, right, and things like that, you should definitely vote, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I haven't looked at the polls recently from the last time we talked about this, which was that last week or
I think it
3
was
weeks ago?
2 or 3 weeks ago. Was it with the one with Borna, or was it the one afterwards?
No, Borno was a while ago.
Borna was a while ago.
No, because we talked it was either our last episode or or the episode before that, like,
Yeah.
when we took the week break in between. But at that time, I haven't looked at the poll since, but at that time, both the Democrats were in the lead.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that looks now. I haven't looked into it.
Right now,
I've been
yeah.
slacking. That's my bad. I apologize, team.
Right now, one of the Republicans is ahead, and then one of the Democrats is ahead in the other one. So it's very close. It's very, very close.
And obviously, polls, you know, take it with a grain of salt. We don't really know what's up with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's going to be very important, and that's going to be very influential for the next 4 years, as you've said.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we're talking about this, but there's been a lot of dodging of questions.
Yeah.
From the Republicans who are running for Senate seats, and I just wanted to get your take on that. Is, like, there was one debate where, what's his name, Purdue, just didn't even show up.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, on the other side, Loeffler just didn't answer questions.
Yeah. I mean, like, politically speaking, it's probably the smart thing to do, right? Because, like, you see, right, like,
well, they're both under a lot of scrutiny right now because of insider trading.
Yeah, exactly. And there's also, like, just like where we're at politically, there's so much traction in the state of Georgia for the Democrats, right? And so it's very close, right? And not right, like, the traction is helping the Democrats, but by no means guarantees anything. And so, like, they're doing basically what Ann Wagner does every election cycle, which is just stay quiet, and you don't have to do anything except, you know, show ads that say your opponents are bad, and I think politically it's smart. I think, from a human standpoint it sucks, but
Right. It's like, it also begs the question is like, they're still in the race, even though they pretty much clearly did something illegal while in office.
right.
And, if you're committing crimes with power, like, should you be elected into office or reelected for that matter? And, that's another issue is that people are still willing to vote for people.
Yeah. I mean, it's right. Like in Alabama, we learned that in order for a Democrat to win, like you have to be like a child molester, right? Like anything less
Right.
than that, and
I
there's just
like.
no hope.
Do you think if he wasn't a child molester but just like an adult molester, do you think it still would have had the same outcome, or
Oh,
was it because it was that extreme of being a child
absolutely.
molester?
It's because of that, right? And it's I don't even think like anyone knew who the guy running against Doug Jones was this time around. Like no one knew who he well, like at least no one who was from Alabama, but everyone was like, "Oh yeah, he is going to win," because like a Democrat doesn't win Alabama unless if your
Unless some
opponent is just right. It's kind of like Claire
right and
McCaskill, right? Like she like barely won, and it was because the first time around her opponent said that thing about abortion, right? Her opponent said, you know, if you're like raped, the baby knows, like the body can do it by itself. So that's why abortion should be legal and you won't get pregnant, like if you're raped, because the body knows. And so he was just an idiot, right? And so he lost because of that, like one slip up. And then
right.
another time, her opponent, like died. And so, like, she won because, the guy died. And so, yeah, you just have to get lucky, right? Like, it's hard.
Yeah. Anyway, moving moving back to the pardon topic.
Hmm.
I had a theory that I've been thinking about recently that I think is, I mean, time's running up, but I think it's going to come to fruition.
Okay,
Um, so get this. Let me
got
lay the
it.
scene. Let me lay the scene. When does Biden get inaugurated? What day is it?
January
January
20th.
20th? Can't remember if it was 20th or 22nd. So it's like January 18th, and Trump is just laying in bed, and then he's like, you know what? I'm done with this. He announces that he's resigning.
Hmm.
Pence takes over, pardons Trump.
Genius.
I mean, I think it's obvious that Trump did something illegal.
Yeah,
I mean, he did do illegal things that he's been impeached for, but there probably are more.
yeah,
There's definitely stuff, and he's definitely a shady guy. So
absolutely.
he's gonna need a pardon. It begs the question: is he gonna try to pardon himself, or is he just gonna resign,
Right. Well,
take
that's
the
it.
L, and then Pence pardons him?
First, what has to happen is he needs to get convicted, right? And so, like we have to
He
ask
doesn't
her,
need to get convicted though.
or he needs to be tried, right? Like someone needs to say you're under arrest for some, right? Like and so
Is that true? Because he is pardoning a lot of people, and are these people all being tried?
yeah, they're in the process of it, or they were tried and convicted, right?
I
And so
don't.
that begs the question, like, will Biden try and prosecute Trump? And like the answer is he should, but he probably won't.
But when Biden's in office, nobody's going to pardon him at that point because Biden
Yeah,
will be in office. If like
exactly.
he's trying, if he pardoned, Biden's the one trying him. He does have. I don't know exactly how it works, but he does have other like lawsuits and cases against him
Hmm.
that I don't know if he could be pardoned for that
I don't know either. I don't know if it is like criminal
because
or civil or
I
what.
don't think it's
Yeah,
federal. I don't think any of it is federal. But
yeah, that
he was impeached. Sorry, he was impeached on a
but that's not
federal
really. Yeah,
grounds, but that doesn't count.
you
That's
can't pardon an impeachment. Yeah,
right. So it begs the question of will it happen? And he honestly, let's say he does get tried. Does he try to pardon himself?
yeah, yeah.
Can you just do that? Can you be like,
I
I
don't know, but
pardon
I think he'll
myself?
try to. It'll be an interesting court case, in which case the Supreme Court will probably side for Trump because it's like a 6-3 majority now.
Well, we say that, but I mean, he's not getting any of his voter fraud stuff through or whatever. So you don't really know. I feel like it is 6-3 on the conservative side, but that doesn't mean they're Trump loyalists and going to do whatever Trump asks them to do, because they
That's true.
clearly have not done that. I mean, they shot down the case in like 2 minutes. So like,
Mm-hmm.
and they wrote one sentence about it.
That's true.
So I don't know. It's all
Well,
unprecedented.
yeah, and speaking about like things we don't know, right? There's this new nailed that transition, by the way, too.
That was a good one. I'll give you that one.
There's this new strain of COVID out, right? And we're still trying to learn a lot about that too. And so,
Yeah.
like the big thing we know is that it's incredibly more
What is it like?
transmissible.
Yeah, 70% more infectious, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
which is dangerous.
yeah, and so we have to learn like, is the strain like still, does the vaccine affect the strain, right? Like that's important, right?
Right.
And so we also have to know things about like, is it more deadly, right? Like we have to learn
Right.
stuff about that. And so, I think the US just announced that anyone coming from the UK to the US now has to get tested, which is like the first time the US has mandated testing.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting, I guess, is the right word.
Yeah.
But I I it'll be we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
exactly.
hopefully this, even if it is more infectious, we can hope for a lower mortality rate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we can hope that the vaccine still can, prevent people from catching it.
Yeah.
However, probably not likely on that one.
Yeah.
Well, you think about the flu and how many strains of
That's
flu there
true.
are. I'm not making a comparison that the coronavirus is the flu, because
Yeah.
it's not, and people need to like understand that difference. But I'm not in a medical field. I don't know enough.
Yeah.
I haven't done enough research. But from my expertise per se, is that my guess is that it wouldn't, because I do know that the flu, there are many, many strands of flus.
Right.
The virus only is supposed to prevent the flu, or the strain that is supposed to be the most prevalent in the flu season.
Yeah.
So my guess is that it wouldn't, which is terrifying, because people are starting to think that now that the vaccine is here, that everything is normal, and everybody's immune now, which is not the case
Not the case.
at all. Um, so please just keep staying safe.
Mm-hmm.
Masks. I don't think masks are going to go away probably for another 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds right.
I think that might be a low estimate. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
it's tough. I don't think that enough people will have the vaccine to even consider taking off your masks. And even then, I feel like it might be a good precaution for the rest of life.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, it's not a horrible idea to wear a mask outside.
yeah, at the very
Like
least, like
it,
have one on.
obviously, like there are people who are like anti-masks, who are saying like it's my right, it's my choice. I feel like right now you should have to wear a mask because of how important it is to stopping the spread, to stopping the deaths. But at a point where a year, 2, 3, however long it takes for this to be more under control, at that point, then yes, it could be your choice. If like you want to wear a mask, you shouldn't be ridiculed for wanting to stay healthy and not like to not have to go through this pandemic again. And if you don't want to wear a mask, you don't have to, because the situation is not as bad. But it's probably a good idea.
Very good idea.
It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. But I think we got a long ways before
For sure.
everything is, per se back to normal, if it ever will be. On that note, I think that about does it for this episode of Choose with the News. It's been a good one. I've actually enjoyed this one. I enjoy everyone. But
thank you so much for watching. Comment, DM, all that stuff.
Like, comment, subscribe, smash that notification. We should really tell them to do that at the beginning, because that's when people listen.
Yeah, and no one makes it this far.
Should we have another prize if you DM us on Instagram
this one,
saying like, oh
this
yeah,
one,
I made it.
I'll even say cash prize, okay? For
cash prize.
In the DM us, okay?
Big time cash prize. Also, we want to make money, so subscribe, watch our stuff.
Just put it on the background. You don't even have to listen. Just like
seriously, it's not that difficult, dude.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for stopping by.
All right. Yeah.